This video is for lesson 2-2. We'll be analyzing how transactions affect accounts. And our learning objective, we will restate and apply the 4 questions necessary to analyze transactions for starting a business into debit and credit parts. Each transaction changes the balances of at least 2 accounts, and a list of accounts used by a business is called a chart of accounts. Now that is important here. The account titles that we use and write down have to be the ones that the business uses, so we can't just make up account titles. This is the chart of accounts for Delgado Web Services. You can also find it on page 3 in your textbook. One thing to notice is that we have on the left side our balance sheet accounts, which are our assets, liabilities, and owner's equity. On the right side, we have our income statement accounts, which would be our revenue and expenses. We go into the chart of accounts in a later chapter in more detail where we go over the numbering system and why they have these different numbers. For this chapter, all you need to know is the account title, and we need to make sure whatever we write for our account title matches one of the accounts listed here in the chart of accounts. Some of these accounts, such as 330 for income summary, are accounts we won't use for quite a few chapters yet. But we still need to list every account that we use in our business in our chart of accounts. So this transaction that we have here, which looks very messy on the screen, and we will not record it in such a mess in our working papers, but we have on January 2nd, we received cash from owner as an investment for $2,000. So the questions for analyzing a transaction, the first question is what accounts are affected? And for this one, we would have cash and then our Michael Delgado Capital. Those are our 2 accounts affected in the first one, so we can see they are listed here on top of the T's. The second question is how is each account classified? Cash is an asset, and Michael Delgado Capital is an owner's equity account. And the third one, how is each classification changed? The asset is increasing, and the capital account is also increasing. And so how is each amount entered into the accounts? Assets increase on the debit side, therefore the debit is going to be for an asset, for cash. Owner's equity accounts increase on the credit side, therefore credit the owner's equity account for the capital. You need to have a debit and a credit for every single transaction. Here's another example where we paid cash for supplies, $165. The first question would be which accounts are affected. We have supplies and cash. These ones are both assets. They're both classified as assets. How has each classification changed? The supplies account is increased, and supplies, since it's an asset, it's increased with a debit. And cash is decreased, and since it is an asset, it's going to decrease with a credit amount. So we still have a debit and we still have a credit. Transactions must always be carefully analyzed. A transaction may affect accounts from both sides of the accounting equation, or a transaction may affect accounts that are on the same side of the accounting equation, as in this example we just did here. A common error is to assume that every transaction must affect accounts on both sides of the accounting equation. Also, do not attach any meaning to debit or credit other than the left side or the right side of your T account. Don't think of them as good or bad. Debit simply means left, and credit simply means right. This transaction on January 3rd, we paid cash for insurance, $900. This is very similar to paying cash for supplies. One asset is increased and one asset is going to be decreased. So the first question that we would ask when analyzing a transaction would be which accounts are affected. We would have prepaid insurance and cash. The second one is how is each account classified? Prepaid insurance and cash are both assets. And then how does each classification change? Prepaid insurance, we are buying insurance, so it is increasing with a debit. We are paying cash, so it is decreasing with a credit. On January 5th, we bought supplies on account from Canyon Office Supplies, $220. The two accounts that are affected by this are supplies and accounts payable - Canyon Office Supplies. Supplies is an asset and accounts payable Canyon Office Supplies is a liability. Now assets is going to be increasing, our supplies is increasing because we bought supplies, and our accounts payable Canyon Office Supplies is also increasing because the amount that we owe them is increasing. So supplies, since it's increasing and it's an asset, it will receive a debit, and accounts payable Canyon Office Supplies, since that is increasing, it will receive a credit. So we have a debit and we have a credit. One thing here that people think is that one account needs to increase and one account needs to decrease. That's not true. The only thing that needs to match is we need to have a debit and a credit, which we do in this transaction here. Now, this is what it looks like when we pay cash on account. On January 9th, we paid cash on account to Canyon Office Supplies for $100. The two accounts affected by this are cash and accounts payable Canyon Office Supplies. Accounts payable Canyon Office Supplies is a liability. Cash is an asset. Since we are paying cash, cash is going to decrease with a credit. And the amount that we owe our accounts payable Canyon Office Supplies is decreasing as well. So we are going to give them a debit to decrease them. So we have our credit and we have our debit. Our accounting equation is still going to be in balance. When you decrease an account balance, record the decrease on the side opposite the normal balance side of the account. The side opposite of the normal balance side can be on the left or the right, depending on the type of account.